Open three is good.
Shot pours a goal. Oh, Schwickenberg.
Nice.
Tough shooting, he scores.
Welcome to Sports Jam. I'm John Jacobson.
And I'm Jay Wilcox. This week on the show, a look ahead to the section softball playoffs, plus a recap of state true team track and field and much more.
And later we'll talk with players from the Wayzata boys lacrosse team as they head into the final week of the regular season. But first, boys tennis. Blake is moving to Class 2A for tennis. Unfortunately for the Breck Mustangs, that move doesn't take effect until next school year. The Bears, ranked #1 this spring, hosting the defending state champion Mustangs for the Section 2A title. At first singles, it's Blake's Ben Engbar in the near court against Karthik Papasetti. Engbar with a great backhand. Papasetti's return is long. Engbar wins the point. Later, it's Engbar, the state's top-ranked singles player in Class A, serving up an ace to close out a game. He wins the match, 6-love, 6-1. Jack Barker serves for Blake at second singles. Good rally here between Barker and Thomas Metz. Metz with a nice drop shot past Barker for a point. Later in the first set, another good rally between these two players who are both ranked in the top 10 in Class A. Barker comes to the net and drops in a great shot for a winner, and he wins it for Blake 6-3, 6-3. We jump to doubles play where Sam Fernandez of Breck is serving to Chris Hall. Hall and partner Ravi Sapari take this point on an overhead backhand winner by Hall. Hall and Sapari win in straight sets over Fernandez and Sam Aronson. At second doubles, Blake's Tanner Parr serving. He and Daniel Riggy meeting Breck's Cole Maxwell and Clayton Haberman. Riggy gets the smash at the net for a winner. Blake wins 7-0. They'll be the big favorite at the state Class A tournament June 6th through the 9th.
Section playoffs are also underway in AA boys tennis. The Armstrong Falcons had a first-round bye in the Section 5 AA tournament, and the third-seeded Falcons got a good challenge from number 6 Totino Grace in the tournament quarterfinals. #1 singles, Nikita Snezhko in the near court for Armstrong gets a forehand winner. And then some nice touch on a drop shot. Sets up a gimme volley winner for Snezhko, one of the state's top players. He wins in straight sets, and we'll meet him later in the show. 3 singles, J.D. Urban on the far court, and he gets an overhead winner here for Armstrong. And it's Urban with a return winner on his way to a straight set win, 6-0, 6-1 over the Eagles' Ryan Jordan. The 4th singles, Henry Scott serves for Armstrong, braces Luke Narog attacks and gets the volley winner here. Narog's aggressive again and drops in a volley in the corner, but Scott wins the match 6-2, 3-6, 6-2. To 2 doubles, nice net play by Armstrong's Ben Lethune as he finishes with an overhead winner. And Kenneth Wang serves for Grace, and it sets up a smash winner by Elliot Becker as they win the match in straight sets. But Armstrong sweeps the singles and takes the match 4-3, moving them to the semifinals. The top 2 seeds in Section 5 AA, Wayzata and Maple Grove, advance to the section semifinals with quarterfinal wins over Irondale and Rogers, respectively. The section final is scheduled for Tuesday afternoon at Park Center, weather permitting. We're down to the big meets remaining for local high school track and field teams, with some of them coming pretty close together. The Lake Conference Championships hosted by Wayzata. To the highlights here in the boys 1600, Minnetonka's Matthew Wilkinson holds on for the victory. About 3 seconds back, Wayzata's Mitch Tolander is second. The Trojans take the 2, 3, 4 spots. The girls 4x100 relay, Edina with the win, and Hopkins edges out Wayzata for second. In the boys 4x100, Minnetonka races to the victory. Anchor Joe Fonbele and Hopkins racing second. It's a close battle down the stretch in the girls 400. Natalie Jacobson of Eden Prairie has enough left to edge Lucy Avinson of Hopkins by 0.6 of a second. In the boys 800 meters, Seth Eliason of Hopkins rolls to the win. His time is 1:54.45. A few seconds back, Frank Petro of Wayzata, who places second. On to field events in the girls' high jump. Olivia Roberts clears 5.2 here and later goes 5.4 to take first place for Wayzata. The boys' triple jump, Fonbele of Hopkins has a best leap of 41.1 3/4. He places second. Madeline Tapper of Wayzata saves her best for last in the long jump, going 16.9 1/4 here as she takes second place. We check the team scores. Minnetonka takes the girls' title well ahead of Edina. Eden Prairie is third, followed by Wayzata and Hopkins. Minnetonka also takes the boys' title with Hopkins second and Wayzata third. Edina and Eden Prairie are 4 and 5.
A few days after that meet, some of the same teams competed at state True Team competition. It's a meet run by the Coaches Association to reward team depth and not just a few top performers. The Wayzata boys won their 5th straight Class 3A True Team title, finishing with 863.5 points to beat out Lake Conference rival Edina. Mounds View is third and Lakeville South fourth. Lewis Gibson of Wayzata won the 400 meters. Ben Gross took the high jump, and the Trojans 4x800 relay was first as well. The Wayzata girls took second place behind Minnetonka as Lake teams went 1-2 here also. The Trojans won the 4x200 and 4x400 relays, while J.C. Thompson took the 1600 meters. The Tutina Grace boys were 8th in Class 2A. The Benil girls were 9th in 2A. The Wayzata baseball team lost its first game of the season last month at home against Minnetonka. Trojans were looking for a little payback when they faced the Skippers under the lights at Minnetonka. Top of the 4th, Wayzata's Tyler Young lifts a low pitch to right field that drops for a hit. Nicholas Kay hustles home for a 2-1 Trojans lead. Wayzata gets one more in the 4th. Keegan Nickel hits into a fielder's choice. Tonka gets one out on the play, but not two. Austin Price comes home. It's a 3-1 Wayzata lead. Bottom of the 4th, Tonka's Matt Hodge laces a hit to left center field. That scores Joel Timpson, cutting Wayzata's lead to 3-2. Bottom of the 5th, tied at 3. Tonka with a runner at second. Danny Dice runs down the fly ball in deep right field, ending the inning and keeping it a tie game. But in the bottom of the 6th, nobody can catch this. Ben Lavorsi cracks a 2-out solo home run to center field for the Skippers. They hold Wayzata scoreless in the top of the 7th. Lavorsi's home run is the difference. Minnetonka wins it 4-3.
The Champlain Park baseball team will start play this Friday in the Section 5 4A tournament. The Rebels are a strong contender in the Northwest Suburban Conference. They took on Andover in a home game last week. Bottom of the 3rd inning, and the bases loaded for Champlain Park. Joey Simon with a base hit up the middle scores Cole Albers and Zach Loven for a 4-0 Rebels lead. In the bottom of the 6th, Champlain Park pushes across 3 more runs. A sacrifice fly here to left field by Loven brings home Trey Carlson with the run. The Rebels go on to win 8-1. They won 6 straight with 2 regular season games remaining. For the 18th year, the Minnesota State High School League sponsored the State Adapted Bowling Tournament, and many of those tournaments have been at bowling centers right here in the northwest suburbs. Brunswick Zone in Brooklyn Park, the site for this one-day event. A total of 380 bowlers from schools across the state took part in singles, doubles, and/or team competition in 3 different classifications for bowlers. Inta Zorisova of Wayzata Minnetonka won the PI Division girls singles title, while Anoka Hennepin's Maddie Oblander won the ASD Division in girls singles. Kevin Prenisil from Anoka Hennepin is the boys PI singles champion. Wayzata Minnetonka was crowned the team champion in the ASD Division.
There's a big crowd at Brunswick Zone that day for that.
Yeah, a lot of excitement, and congratulations to the bowlers from the area that were able to come out with victories there. Stay with us. Coming up on Sports Jam, a rivalry game in softball, plus the week in lacrosse. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Sports Jam.
And 2 old rivals meeting in softball. Armstrong and Cooper playing under the lights at Zachary Park Friday night. Armstrong's Leah Baker keeps the Hawks bat silent early. She gets the strikeout here to preserve a 2-0 Armstrong lead. In the 3rd, Hannah Bachmeyer's grounder up the middle is knocked down by Maddie McGuire, but the throw to first is late and high. Maddie Clare scores on the play to make it 3-0 Falcons. Same inning, and Kaylin Leonard connects. She drives it over the fence and left for a 2-run homer and a 5-0 Armstrong lead. Then leading 7-0 in the 5th, Danny Sorensen up for Armstrong, and she hits a blooper that drops between 3 Cooper fielders. Leonard scores for an 8-0 lead, and it looks like this one may be over. but not so fast. Cooper comes back. The base is loaded in the 6th, and Allie Adams gets a hold of the Baker pitch and blasts it over the center field fence for a grand slam as Cooper gets right back in the game, 8-4. But with 2 on in the 7th, Laura Biener's blooper is caught by a diving Hannah Bachmeyer, who wins the race to second base to complete a game-ending double play as Armstrong holds on for an 8-4 win.
Well, that brings us to the postseason in softball. Here's a look at some of the section seedings with local teams. Maple Grove is the top seed in Section 5-4A. They're followed by Centennial, Champlin Park, and Osseo. Defending section champ Spring Lake Park is the 5th seed. Park Center is number 8. Weather permitting, games are set for Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday in this section, with the winner's bracket final slated for Thursday. All of this tournament is at Rice Creek Park in Shoreview. In Section 6-4A, defending champion Hopkins is the number 1 seed ahead of Edina and St. Louis Park. Armstrong is seeded 4th with Cooper 7th and Wayzata 8th. Tournament has games scheduled for Tuesday and Thursday this week, with a winner's bracket final next Tuesday. Opening rounds are at home sites with championship rounds at Hopkins. Totino Grace in Class 3A and Maranatha Christian in Class A are top seeds in their sections as well.
The regular season wraps up this week in lacrosse. The Wayzata boys will aim for a return trip to the state tournament. The Trojans hosting winless Hopkins in their Lake Conference finale. Brooks Hansen gets it to Alex Solly, and he fires the shot home for a 1-0 Wayzata lead. Luke Marquardt to Braden Nelson to Hansen, cutting here for the goal, and it's 2-0 Trojans. They lead 4-0 after 1 quarter. Hansen rips a hard shot home for the only goal of the second quarter, and it's 5-0 Wayzata at the half. And they dominate this one to win it 12-0 over the Royals. We will hear from the Trojans later in the show. The Wayzata girls are coming on at the end of the season. After 9 losses, the Trojans had won 2 in a row heading into their second meeting with Hopkins. Wayzata gets off to a good start as Annika Swanson gets a pick and turns the corner to score for a 3-1 Wayzata lead. Sadie Skadron weaves through the Wayzata defense, spins and scores. The Royals get 3 in a row and they lead 4-3. Big goal late in the first half for Wayzata. The long pass ahead to Haley Olson results in a goal with 3 seconds left. The Trojans take a 7-5 lead into halftime. And they pull away with some nice plays like this. Quick transition upfield to Olson for the goal, and she'll make it 13-9 Wayzata. Skadron gets the last 3 goals of the night to make it interesting for Hopkins, but Wayzata wins its 3rd straight game. 14-12 is the final.
Also in girls lacrosse, last year's Northwest Suburban Conference champion, Champlin Park, faced a team that was still hoping to win the conference title this spring, Maple Grove. The Rebels and the Crimson meeting at Champlin Park. Champlin Park's Tara Dahlman spins away and moves in for the shot on goals. The Rebels take a lead. Josie Johnson zips to the goal and scores with a low shot as the Rebels build a 4-0 lead on the Crimson. But Maple Grove comes back. Katie Wheeler works her way in and scores up top. Then it's Emily Herdeen with a nice pass to Abby Bai, and she finishes tying the score at 5. Lydia Brecht gives Champlin Park the lead back when she scores from the free position. That makes it 6-5. This game was called just before halftime due to bad weather and resumed 2 days later. Champlin Park wins it 15-9. And Jane, another big Northwest Suburban Conference girls lacrosse match. Blaine beat Osseo Park Center 13-7, and that wraps up the conference title for the Bengals.
Yeah, they're unbeaten in conference play. We do have some good local teams, though. They have a chance to do some things in the playoffs, I would think. Stay tuned in just a moment in our Sports Jam Spotlight. John introduces us to a tennis ace from Armstrong.
The state class AA tennis tournament is next month at the Baseline Tennis Center in Minneapolis. One player who figures to be one of the favorites in the singles tourney is wrapping up his final year of high school tennis. In this week's Sports Jam Spotlight, we meet Armstrong's Nikita Snezhko. It is the 6th and final spring of high school tennis for Nikita Snezhko. The Armstrong senior started at #2 singles as a 7th grader. And since 9th grade, it's been the Falcons' top singles player. It's been a fun ride.
Tennis is an individual sport, but putting it into like a team sport is a different experience. And then leading a team as being like the best player on the team has been a good opportunity to expand my skills.
At 6'5" tall, Snezhko has the range and reach that not a lot of his opponents possess. but his 9-inch growth spurt since freshman year led to injuries before it led to improvement for his game.
The past 2 years I've been injured a lot because I've been growing so much. I've grown like almost a foot in the past 4 years. So my serve has improved tremendously, forehand, footwork, mostly everything. And then obviously my mental game has improved the most.
Oh, he's just so consistent. He keeps the ball in play, mostly baseline, but he can hit cross court and hit some drop shots. He'll come up to the net occasionally and has a good net game. So he's just very intimidating, I think.
While his physical gifts has emerged as he matured as a player, it's Nikita's mental game that's really evolved.
Tennis is a really mental sport, so every day I have to come into practice and matches with a mindset, and then if I don't come with a mindset, then things can go wrong. So I just try to keep on mentally strong and keep on working every day. And then obviously what matters at the end of the day is how you execute in matches.
Nikita is one of the top junior players in the Midwest, and next year he'll take his tennis talents to the University of Iowa.
I really like the coach at Iowa and assistant coach, and the environment is good, and like just overall the campus and the school is unreal. Everything's like brand new. They treat their student athletes really good. And then I feel like if I work hard and put 100% in, then anything's possible.
Anytime you can get new coaching, the coaches at Iowa are probably, will work with him and improve his game even more.
In 2016, Snezhko and Joe Lipovitz played doubles at the state tournament and finished as Class AA consolation champions. While Nikita's size and strong net play make him a strong doubles player, he says he'll play singles in the postseason this year, and knows it'll be a tough road as he takes aim at a state title.
I've been looking forward to this year since I was a 7th grader because I wanted the state title as badly as everyone else. So now that I have the opportunity to do so, it would be fantastic to achieve. I played mostly everybody multiple times in our state, so every match is going to be a tough one. So some matches are harder than others, but I'm really looking forward to the challenges that are going to come forth.
Nikita was born in Iowa, but said both of his parents were born in Russia. His younger sister Nicole was a freshman on the Armstrong girls tennis team last fall. Jay returns with more Sports Jam in a moment as he talks boys lacrosse with the Wayzata Trojans.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. The regular season wraps up this week in boys lacrosse, and we're joined by the Wayzata Trojans, hoping to make it back to the state tournament. 4 of their captains with us today, and starting with Brenton Reddrick. And tell me about this season. How do you feel like the overall season has gone for your team?
I think it's gone pretty well so far. We've had a lot of talent this year that came back, so I think we got a lot of guys that can, score, a lot of guys that can play good defense. So I think overall our season's been well. We got to trust our coach, listen to what he says, and play our game, not the other team. So
you've had some close losses along the way, but they were all the good teams. Are those learning experiences even when you don't come out with the W?
I think they're definitely learning experiences. We, go through film, see what happened, and obviously fix those mistakes. And I think it's also character building. We figure out, as a team, some things internally that aren't going right. So we work to fix those things too.
A lot of you guys got to play in the state tournament last year. How much does that help to know what it takes to get there and try and do it again?
I think it means a lot. The experience is the biggest factor. Guys that have played there, it's completely different than regular season. The games obviously mean much more, and the level of play is just the next level up. So.
All right, thanks for joining us, and good luck in the playoffs, Riley Nelson. How are you feeling about the way this team is shaping up? I know you've had a loss or two along the way, but that's sometimes not necessarily indicative of what's going to happen in the postseason. How do you feel about the team?
Yeah, I feel like we've been through a lot of ups and downs this year, but as of recently, we're really coming together, working well as a team, and it looks like bright things for the future.
An impressive win over Chanhassen recently. Did that give you guys a little boost of confidence as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a huge boost of confidence, and just overall a really fun game to be a part of.
Heading into playoffs, how much do you know about the other teams in your section? There's some teams with some good records that maybe haven't played the same type of caliber of schedule as you guys, but what do you know about any of the teams you might see?
We don't really play a lot of these teams in sections during the regular season, so we got to watch film and just study, play our game, and listen to what the coaches know about the other teams and whatnot.
All right, Riley, good luck in the playoffs, and nice job in the regular season here.
Thank you.
And Collin Kubinski, we've had a chance to talk to him all 3 seasons with outstanding soccer and hockey years as well. How do you feel about this lacrosse team?
Very well, actually. I think we got a pretty good chance this year. We've been playing very well this season. Had a couple of bad games, but we learned from those games, and I think fixing those mistakes will certainly help us in playoffs.
A week ago, we were interviewing Maple Grove. They're in your section. They're undefeated right now. Do you see them as the main competition, or have you thought much about those other teams yet?
I mean, playoffs is a completely different game. Anybody can bring anything that is very unexpected. I know personally, like, growing up and playing in playoffs, like, there's so many upsets that Maple Grove with a good record doesn't really mean anything, and teams in our section with bad records doesn't mean anything. It just kind of depends on who's going to show up and play.
Collin, thanks so much for joining us, and have fun in the playoffs.
Thank you.
And Joey Ocholik, your team has come on pretty strong. It looks like record-wise down the stretch. Do you like the way this team's performing right now?
Oh yeah, I really like how we're performing right now. It seems to me like everything's kind of coming together. We've had our ups and downs, like you've talked about with the other captains, but I think as a team we're really coming together. That bond, that communication that Riley talked about, that's going to be really important down the road here.
For the guys that were a part of it, how much fun was that state tournament last year, and how much does that drive you to get there again?
It was so much fun. Just to be able to play in the mid-June there, it's just great. That's where you want to play. Like they said before, it's the best lacrosse. All the teams come together, and it's just a lot of fun. And like you said, that experience, like Brenton talked about, it's important. It gives you that something to strive for and kind of know what it takes to get there, and look to keep that up in the future.
All right, thanks so much for joining us, and have fun in the postseason here.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, Joey Ocholik, one of the captains for the Wayzata boys lacrosse team as they get set for play in Section 8. The first round games are next Tuesday, May 30th. The Trojans undoubtedly will be seated high enough to be into the quarterfinals, and they'll start play on June 1st. We'll be back to wrap up Sports Jam, but first it's a look at our plays of the week.
Trying to get us third of the game into the scoring zone, and he gets it done.
Oh, nice save by Ronning.
Don't miss the 35th annual Earl Brown Day celebration in Brooklyn Center from June 22nd to the 24th. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under cities and in the community.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood? Or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. You can learn about the latest news through our truly local newscast. We cover and air around 150 high school sporting events every year. For our cities, we air parades and city meetings that you can watch whenever you want. Then, any citizen of our cities can create and share their own original content. We'll even teach you how to use the equipment too. We have always provided you with a connected community experience, and as life gets busier than ever, we will continue to engage, inform, and inspire through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
It's a family favorite, music in Plymouth at the Hildy Performance Center on Wednesday, July 5th. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under cities and in the community.
All right. And that will do it for this week's Sports Jam.
Busy week of playoffs coming up, John. We'll be busy. Fans, get out there and watch a lot of the great action. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Sports Jam.